Don't try to be a perfect parent, make parenting easier. Hello to all the parents who are listening. Have you ever, on this journey filled with love yet full of challenges, asked yourself questions like, am I a terrible parent? Why do others seem to do so well while I struggle? Or perhaps thought, I need to try harder and be like those perfect parents I see on social media. If you have ever wrestled with thoughts like these, today's talk is for you. Today, we will explore a very familiar yet often invisible burden, the pressure to become a perfect parent. We'll take a look at why perfectionism can lead to exhaustion, how society and media contribute to this pressure, and most importantly, how we can let go of this burden, embrace ourselves, and become good enough parents who are happier and more at peace on the parenting journey. We'll walk through key points, understanding the trap of perfectionism, identifying external pressures, finding the antidote to perfectionism, and finally, practical ways to make parenting lighter every day. Let's begin. Understanding the trap called perfect parenting. First, we need to be clear. What exactly is perfectionism in parenting? And why is it dangerous? Perfectionism is not just the desire to be a good parent. It's when we set overly high, often unrealistic standards for ourselves, disconnected from reality and the resources we have. It also manifests when we place excessive expectations on our children, expecting them to be stars, prodigies, and never feeling satisfied with their efforts, no matter how small. Recent research has raised alarms. Perfectionism is a major risk factor for parental burnout. Why? Because constantly chasing unattainable standards creates overwhelming pressure. A voice inside keeps saying, I'm not good enough. I must do better. Setting demands that far exceed our actual time, energy, financial resources, or support systems inevitably leads to frustration and helplessness. We feel like we can never reach that perfect mark. Moreover, perfectionism doesn't just exhaust us, it can damage our most precious relationships. It becomes difficult to accept and appreciate our children as they are. We may unintentionally place continuous pressure on them, rarely recognizing their efforts or setting unrealistic expectations. Over time, emotional distance can form between parents and children. Tension caused by the need to be perfect can even strain the marital relationship. All these combined push parents closer to burnout, emotional depletion, distancing from their children, loss of joy in parenting, and a constant sense of self-blame. The invisible pressure from the outside world. Another major contributor to the pressure of perfection is the constant exposure to societal messages. Especially on social media, you've probably seen countless images of hot moms and hot dads, glowing, happy, successful, with obedient, brilliant children. They seem to balance career success and family life effortlessly. Looking at these curated images, it's easy to feel inadequate and pressured to be like them. We're not here to judge whether those images are right or wrong. But here's an important truth to remember. There is no such thing as a perfect parent. Real life, the stories behind the phone or computer screens, is always more complicated and colorful than what's shown. When we post on social media, we naturally select the best, happiest moments. Sometimes, these images are also part of building a personal brand or marketing for products. In reality, every parent, no matter how perfect they appear, has moments of exhaustion, helplessness, mistakes, and negative emotions. This is normal. It's a natural part of the human and parenting experience. What we can do is recognize these moments, accept them, and understand this is part of our shared humanity. All parents go through similar things. The antidote to perfectionism. So once we recognize the burden of perfectionism, what can we do? What is the antidote for us? The good news: we can change. Just by realizing you're struggling with perfectionism and wanting to adjust, you've already taken a major step. It shows you are striving to become a better parent. And you know what? Admitting your weaknesses, learning from mistakes, and adjusting unrealistic expectations are great examples for your children. Psychologists suggest several approaches to detox from perfectionism. Reflect. Identify the beliefs and thoughts underlying your perfectionism. Where did they come from? Recognize the harm. Be honest about how perfectionism affects you and your children. Are you unintentionally pressuring them? Challenge old beliefs. Question and update those unrealistic thoughts driving you to chase perfection at all costs. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness. Accept imperfections, and understand that being human means being imperfect. Always remember, the ultimate goal in raising children is not to be a perfect parent, but to be a good enough parent. Good enough means acceptance, flexibility, and unconditional love. Sometimes, your imperfections are opportunities for your children to learn independence, problem solving, and to develop their own strengths. Practicing good enough parenting every day. It sounds good, but how do we really let go of perfectionism and practice good enough parenting daily? It takes effort and patience, but it's absolutely possible. Here are some specific suggestions. Watch your language. Praise effort, not just achievement. Instead of, "You're the best," say, "I'm proud of how hard you worked." When your child fails, instead of, "Losing is terrible," help them reflect. What went well and what can improve next time? Avoid absolute words like, always, never, the best, or the worst. Let small mistakes go. If you feel yourself about to get upset because your child didn't make the bed perfectly or made spelling mistakes, pause and take a deep breath. Mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow. Stop comparing. Don't compare yourself to idealized parents on social media. You're only seeing carefully edited highlights, not the full story. Don't compare your child to others either. Every child is unique, with their own pace and strengths. Comparisons only breed negativity and insecurity, for both you and your child. Focus on your strengths. Maybe you're not great at organizing educational activities every day, but you're wonderful at listening patiently, cooking their favorite meals, or being supportive. Acknowledge and appreciate your strengths. Be forgiving about your imperfections. You don't need to be a superhero. Build a healthy message about failure. Allow yourself and your child to make mistakes. Talk openly about failures as opportunities to learn, not as catastrophes. Failure is temporary and normal. Praise effort over results. Celebrate the hard work behind a good grade, not just the grade itself. Highlight teamwork, perseverance, and the journey, not just the victory. Step back when needed. Encourage your child to push through difficulties, but don't push them beyond their limits. If a child starts hating an activity they used to love, it could be a sign of too much pressure. Challenge them moderately, but don't force them to exceed their current capacity. Finally, remember, there's no one-size-fits-all parenting formula, not even expert advice. See advice as suggestions to adapt flexibly to your family's circumstances, personality, and values. Conclusion: parenting is a long journey, filled with joys but also difficulties and challenges. Don't let the shadow of perfection weigh you down. Allow yourself to be good enough. Accept your imperfections and your child's, with compassion and love. When you free yourself from the pressure to be perfect, you'll find parenting becomes lighter, more joyful, and your relationship with your child will become closer and warmer. However, if you find yourself seriously struggling to let go of perfectionism and it's affecting your mental health or family relationships, don't hesitate to seek support from mental health professionals. Sometimes, Perfectionism may be rooted in deeper issues like anxiety disorders or past emotional wounds. Professionals can help you understand yourself better and find suitable ways to heal. Wishing you a parenting journey full of joy and meaning.